Hello and welcome to this data modeling section. You need only one thing to create stunning visualization in Power BI desktop, and that is good data. To be precise, you need to have a clean and accurate data loaded into Power BI desktop data model. There you can have tens of millions of rows from multiple data sources into coherent and powerful data model on which you will be building your analysis and dashboards. Now, if you are a person who have been using Excel just like me to perform all your analysis and you do not have any background information about what is data model, how relationship database works, how they store the data and retrieves the data whenever required, and so on, then I would suggest you not to skip this section. If you are already familiar with concepts like normalized data sets, denormalized data sets, 3 steps to perform normalization on your data sets, primary keys, foreign keys, relationships, then feel free to skip this section. If you are not aware about these concepts, then stay tuned and learn all of this in this section. Now let me tell you a story about when I started using all the Power BI desktop and how I learned these concepts. If you have been using Excel all the while to perform various kinds of analysis using Excel pivot tables and other formulas, then it is highly probable that you would have been combining all the relevant information into a single table before performing any kind of analysis. Take for example, you wanted to analyze your sales data for a particular period. Then as a first step, you might have extracted your sales data. Now, this data might contain information like invoice number, invoice date, customer name, product sold, quantity sold, and invoice value, and so on. Here initially you would not have information for related customers like their gender, age, address, date of birth, and so on. Similarly, you may not also have information about products like cost per unit, selling price per unit, category, subcategory of those products, and etc. All of this information might be stored somewhere else, and you might have pulled in all this information into a single sales table. So if you wanted to your analysis done by male, female, and particular category on weekends or weekdays, you would combine the data from different sources or extract other information like weekend or weekdays from existing invoice date using formulas before you perform your analysis. But in the end, you would have a big table with various columns for all the relevant fields on which you are performing your analysis. Now, there is nothing wrong in this approach, and moreover, this approach has always worked and have given us correct results till now. However, now when you start using Power BI, you need to unlearn this habit and start thinking in terms of using data from multiple tables. Power BI has taken a leap from relation database world of keeping the data into separate table for storage, retrieval, and analysis purpose. Here you will have one table containing only the relevant sales information, then another table containing only the customers related informations like age, gender, address, date of birth, and so on. And next table might be separate again for products table having all the relevant information there. In other words, you will keep the information grouped and in some separate tables like this. The purpose and advantage behind keeping the data in this way is that it reduces the redundancy of your data, which in simple terms means that repeating the same information again and again is being avoided. It saves storage space, it allows easy updating and creating new records and much more. Compared to keeping the data in a single table, this approach of multiple table definitely has an upper hand. Hence, while working, if you get the data in a single table and you want to work on Power BI, then you should separate the data into multiple tables appropriately. In later videos in this section, I will show you what logic or rules you need to follow to separate the data into multiple tables from a single table. From the time being, just remember that you should have a multiple tables when you are working in Power BI. And now when you have this kind of a multiple tables, it is called as normalized data set. Now there is an easy way to remember this concept of normalized and denormalized. In relationship database world, if there are multiple tables connected to each other, it is called as normalized data set. And if you have a single table, then it is abnormal in relationship database world. And hence it is called as denormalized data set. So let us repeat one more time. Multiple tables, it will be called as normalized dataset and which will be used in Power BI as well. If it is a single table, it is called as denormalized dataset, and we won't be using this kind of a dataset in Power BI. So that's it from my side guys for this video. See you in next video.